Good evening. We are Lady Soldiers. We're actually going to start off by introducing ourselves, and then we'll tell you about what this conversation, what this live is going to be about. My name is Regina Hudson. I'm the founder of Lady Soldiers, and I have my amazing teammates who are going to introduce themselves to you.
Hello everyone. I want to start off by saying thanks for joining us. My name is Melanie Nunez. I'm one of the authors, part of the Lady Soldiers. Honored to be here, and thanks for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Sonia Aquiles. I'm part of the Lady Soldiers, and I'm glad to be part of this great and amazing project. And let's continue. We are ladies,
yes. Soldiers.
How y'all doing? I'm Shaughnessy, aka Shiny Crafts. I'm here. That's what I got.
So today is October 1st. So October is Domestic Violence and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we found it very important for women and as Lady Soldiers to have this conversation, have this sit down, and talk about domestic violence, honestly, in its entirety. Statistics, how does domestic violence affect a woman or a lady soldier? How are people affected? What are the signs of it? And then also for breast cancer, what are the what are some of the causes of it? What are some statistics? What is life like after cancer? So, let's get into it. We want to send our love and our healing to all those who are currently dealing with domestic violence, cancer, and to all the survivors. We are here with you, and we are stronger together.
Yes.
You want to start off by saying this too?
So during this live, anyone that is watching, we just want you to please do not be shy, engage, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them right in. We do have someone behind the camera that will kind of let us know, and we'll try to answer the questions as they're coming in. With that being said, we want to kind of start with domestic violence, and the Lady Soldiers book, for those that may not know, it's empowerment stories that we've written from experience. And particularly the story that I wrote about was of my sister who passed away in 2011. She was a victim of domestic violence. So I think that it's really important for us, if we're writing this book, we're talking about issues that affect women every day, that we should sit down and have a conversation. And October 1st, it's the perfect time to do it. So I just want to start with the basic definition. There's really not a basic definition. There's a lot of different definitions out there for domestic violence, but the one that I find the most fitting is a pattern of behaviors used by one partner to maintain and control power over another partner in an intimate relationship. Of course, domestic violence can also affect families, children, parents can be abusers, siblings can be abusers, aunts, uncles. So it doesn't just affect intimate partner, but intimate partner violence is, of course, a huge part of domestic violence. In the U.S., every 3 seconds there is an adult that's being physically abused by their partner. I'm reading actually a couple of statistics from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and one of the big ones was saying that in the United States, more than 10 million adults experience domestic violence annually. And you also have to keep in mind that this is based on reported cases. A lot of cases go unreported for many different reasons. Religious beliefs, fear, just a lot of different reasons as to why people choose to not seek help or stay quiet. From 2016 to 2018, so still a couple years back, but from 2016 to 2018, the number of intimate partner violence victimizations in the United States increased by 42%. As most of you know, we're in a pandemic right now. When there were stay-at-home orders, which are kind of slowly being lifted right now, but in the beginning of the pandemic, that definitely increased danger for a lot of victims of domestic violence. So I wasn't able to really get any numbers, but stay tuned. We will get those numbers. Obviously, we're still in a pandemic, so this is still happening at a really high rate right now. And let me see. So, we wanted to talk about, of course, how do you know that you're in an abusive relationship? what are signs to look out for, what is this pattern that's in the definition, like what type of pattern do abusers use to control, their victims. And there's so many of them. There's a lot. But just to name a few, and of course I'll open it up so that you ladies can jump in. Of course, we've all had some sort of experience, whether it's been personal or with someone that we know. But isolation from friends and family is a huge thing. Stalking, inflicting physical harm, of course, making threats, having affairs, keeping you from school or work, stopping you from trying to better yourself, things that will make you more self-sufficient, that can cause that person to lose their control over you. And threatening you or threatening themselves. So a lot of abusers will say, I'll kill myself if you leave me. And of course, if you care about this person, you're thinking, I'm not going to do anything that's going to make them harm themselves. That's a control tactic. But I do want to mention with that, that murder-suicides are, I want to say the numbers were 66% of murder-suicides were the victims were from domestic violence. So sometimes murder-suicides are not necessarily from people that know each other, but 65% of those cases are from intimate partner relationships, and 96% of those cases, the victims are women. So with that, I will kind of open it up to you guys. Sorry, I kind of went on a rant there, but
No,
it's a
that's
huge issue. So
It was good
so
information.
important.
Great. And also we want to create awareness of the issues that are happening right now with racism. Because right now a lot of women will not like disclose that they're being abused because they're afraid of the police coming home and killing their person. They don't really want to harm that person. They just want to get out of the abuse. And that's why it's so important that we understand that pandemic brought a lot of issues, but the climate right now and the racism and the social justice, everything that's happening is affecting women right now all over the place. Men's too, because men suffer from domestic violence as well as children. So it doesn't have any race. Anybody could be affected. No gender. No socioeconomic status. So be aware. Help your neighbor. And let's try to help each other, because I think it's a very hard topic at this point when you don't know what to do, or you're in a waiting list, or you're just afraid that they kill him and you just don't want that. So let's talk about.
I think this is a great time to plug in the LTC class from Lady Soldiers right on the Eventbrite, just in case you got a bus back second. Okay, I'm kidding. But no, protection is definitely important. So you can check out Eventbrite, Lady Soldiers LTC classes. The instructor, amazing man. Yes, like I said, protection is very important. I also wanted to add in that even verbal abuse is a form of domestic violence. You should be with somebody who is uplifting you, someone who makes you better, and I feel like a lot of times we're our biggest enemy, so something's not right. You know what I mean? So you got to get past that energy. Absolutely. Understand that you are of value, love yourself, and know that whatever's around you should project what you want for yourself. You know what I mean? It's a sad situation. I know a lot of people who go through domestic violence. I would also say, speak up. If you have a friend who ain't it, let them know, why you talk to her like that? Why you put your hands on her? Sitting around watching it, yelling "World Star" is wild. You know what I mean? Have some respect. Would you want that to happen to your daughter? Would you want that to happen to your son, to your mom, your uncle? You want that to happen to you? So speaking up is extremely important. And to those that are actually doing the domestic violence, most of the time they're weak-minded. Most of the time they're insecure. Most of the time they got things going on with themselves. Learn to love you. You should be able to provide what you want from yourself. So that's all I have to say about
The
that.
one thing that I just wanted to, I think I kind of grabbed it from all of your pieces of advice is, but what also, so we know the signs of domestic violence, but what would one do if they are in that situation? So we know that there's many hotlines, there's shelters, don't be afraid to, you recognize you're in a domestic violence situation, you have to take that next step. So you're aware, take the next step. to get out. So, do your research or tell a friend, let somebody help you. But definitely, there's hotlines out there. Of course, Melanie is a domestic violence counselor who works for the YWCA, so she could probably comment on it a little bit more.
Yeah, so if you are a survivor, if you're a victim, if you're someone that's currently in that situation, even if you're someone that was in that situation and you got out, the healing process is, it's trauma. So even if you were able to get out, that's great. But the healing starts once that happens. So the hardest part, really, for a lot of survivors is once they leave the situation, is trying to find themselves again, trying to figure out, where do I go from here? How do I, at that point, the abuser has isolated them, their friends, their family's gone, their support system, they feel like they don't have that. So I think it's really important that if you do have someone in your corner, a friend, a family member, a counselor, a therapist, anyone that you trust, I think that it's important to reach out to them. On the other side of that, I think that if you're someone that knows someone that's been through that or is going through that, and they're coming to you, because you have to understand that that's a really hard thing for someone to talk about. And if they're coming to you to tell you, the last thing that they need is judgmental comments. They don't need you to say, oh, well, you stayed with him for all these years, and they don't need that. What they're needing at that moment is support, reassurance that they're making the right decision. They want to leave. If they're telling you they want to leave, they just haven't. It takes an average, and don't quote me because I might be wrong. It takes the average survivor at least 8 attempts before they make it out. And if they make it out, or when they try to make it out, that is the most dangerous time in the abusive relationship. That is the most dangerous time in that relationship, when they're about to leave. Yeah, that's that. And as when you guys get this book, when you read it, you'll kind of hear me talk about that with my sister's situation. She was ready to go. And so I think that it's really important to, again, just reach out to someone that you know. If you don't have anyone that you trust, reach out to the hotlines. You can call 1-800-799-SAFE. That's the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The YWCA has a hotline here. The local number is 413-733-7100. They also have a toll-free number. I don't know off the top of my head, but just know that there are resources out there. There's people that do work in this area and they care. They're not doing it to collect a paycheck. You have to have a passion to help people that are in these types of situations. A lot of them have been through it, and a lot of them are survivors, and a lot of them are giving you advice from experience. So I think that if you find yourself in that situation, seek help. There's people that want to help. Even if you feel like you've had bad experiences, seeking help, keep trying. There's people out there that want to help you. Friends, family, don't be judgmental. Be supportive. Even if they go back right after the conversation with you, support them, because when they're ready, they're going to need you. And it just takes kind of that, it's a repetitive thing where you kind of just have to be there, listen. Obviously, if you feel like you need support, because that can be a really, it can be traumatic on someone if it's someone you care about, to hear them say these things, and you want to react off of emotion, and you want to, go knock on that person's door and maybe, what's that? But I'm just saying, that it's just really important to be supportive, to not be judgmental. And I think for me as a domestic violence counselor, the thing that I stress the most to my survivors is that I'm here to support them in their decision. I'm not here to tell them what to do, because what their abuser has done is take the power away from them, and I'm not here to do that. I'm here to give them their power back and say, these are your options. You can do this, you can do that. Let's talk about how you can safely do that. You can safety plan. So think about, get a safety plan together and say, these are the things that can go wrong when you try to leave. Let's think of ways that we're going to avoid these barriers or, obstacles. So definitely there's resources out there.
And I believe to not be judgmental, you have to put yourself in people's shoes.
Yes.
And it's a lot of variables. Like some people have kids. Sometimes it's mental health issues. Not because of a mental health problem, you're going to enable that person and excuse that person. But those things, even if you're not leaving them, you got to think about the whole picture before we come and try to advise somebody. And don't just be, because sometimes we tend to do that, but because we wouldn't do that.
Right.
But the other person have other things that they had to take in consideration. So, like empathy is very important when you're trying to help somebody. And don't forget that they know you, and they're the one who have that intimate relationship with that person, that they might have kids, and they feel like sorry or all the things that, you know, like what is an abusive relationship that make you feel, you know, like I need this help. It's manipulation in place. It's a lot of things that abusers do to keep that person in that situation. So like thinking about the other person, I believe is so important, and think about the whole picture before we come with an advice.
I like to think that it probably sounds really weird, but whenever somebody comes to me in a domestic situation or whatever, I like to think of them as somebody with special needs. It probably sounds crazy, but if you know Charlie has special needs and you know Charlie can't physically pick up the pen, you're not going to say to Charlie, pick up the pen, Charlie. Pick it up. You know Charlie can't do it. So you want to look at this person, even though they might be physically okay. Emotional situations are just as traumatic, if not more, than physical situations. Because at least physical situations, you can see like, dang, somebody whooped you, beat you up. You know what I mean? But if somebody's going through something internally, nobody addresses it. So you kind of want to, absolutely. So you want to think of it as a handicap in a way, you know, in order to have that empathy and understand that, you know, she might have called you 12 times and said 12 times, like, I can't stand him. Just listen. Just listen. Like, okay, girl, you know, you got to get out of that. Be patient with them. I mean, if you can't verbally do it, sometimes it's too much. Send that text message out. Or, you good over there? How you doing? You know, something. But just don't give up on that person. Because the last thing you want to do is be the last call before that person took their life.
I think it's very important what you say. Just listen. Sometimes that's what that person needs. Just listen. No advice, no nothing. Just listen. Because, you know, it's other ways to help people. And sometimes that person needs to just vent and process her own thinking.
They are the experts on their situation. We don't know what's going on. They're telling us one thing, and they might just be scratching the surface. And again, just remembering that how dangerous it can be for someone to leave. It's like they're being strategic in a way. We might not see it. They might not tell us. We might not know. But you know, I just feel like they are the experts in the situation because no one else knows the degree of what they're in but them. So that is a decision that they have to make. We can support them in it, but we have to listen and we have to hear them out and be patient.
And I think right now in pandemic, the resources are like very limited. And you know, if you like try to reach out to somebody or somebody reach out to you and they don't find resources, just come on and keep looking. Don't give up, because right now pandemic definitely is a lot of more domestic violence issues. It's a lot of lack of space and shelters, but let's go figure out together. That's why we are stronger together. Because we're gonna, whatever you don't know, I know, or whatever I don't know, she might know, and that's the whole purpose, that we come united as women and help each other and figure out one way or another.
And that's actually, that kind of leads to what I was gonna say. Just us again, you know, we are Lady Soldiers. That is our group organization name. But we hold that title because as women, as ladies, but also as soldiers, as strong women. But we have also, you know, neither of us are perfect. You know, we're strong, but at times we may be weak. But together we are stronger. But as Lady Soldiers, we are empathetic. We've been through, you know, many situations. So, you know, we're not on a high horse, but yet we want you to know that we support you. And we are here for you. And as we said, there are resources there for you. The only other thing that I wanted to say, you know, with everything that we've talked about, like what is our advice on healing, or what are maybe some things that we do for healing, or, you know, I know some of us have dealt with domestic violence situations, and how did we heal from that, or how has it affected us?
Well, I think the most important thing is that we gotta create, make sure that people leave that stigma about therapies, about mental health help. It's very important. The domestic violence is not just something that just you go in the daily life. It's stuff that sometimes you need somebody out of the picture, somebody that is not in that situation to help you heal, to give you the right advice, because, you know, we healing, we in trauma, we block, so we need that extra help. And getting that extra help sometimes is like cultural. We don't believe in it because it's a lot of stigma, even though we've been for many years creating awareness about mental health and depression and post-traumatic disorder and all these things. People still in our culture don't want to go there. It's very important that you understand that you might be able to do it alone, but it become faster. It will be fast if you go. You know, it take years. It take maybe months, but somebody else, a third party, will be able to look at your situation and help you in an objective way instead of like with feelings.
Right.
And sometimes we don't see that when we put feelings in place.
I just wanted, when you were touching base on 2020 and you know the skyrocketing of domestic violence, I just wanted to put in everybody's ear that this was a foundation shaking year. This was times of truth. If you see it, it is. You know what I mean? But I think it's a time to reevaluate what you got going on, what you want for yourself. If it's not what you want, move on, and then keep in mind that life is short. We are not promised tomorrow. I'm not trying to get gospel like on anybody, but if today is your last day, do you want your last day to be a black eye? Seriously, sit and think about it. And then and I think in order to talk about this conversation, we must backtrack and begin with, who are you? Do you love yourself, like wholeheartedly? Because a lot of times we hop into these relationships hoping to gain something from the next person that we're missing within ourselves. A lot of times we never sat down and understood ourselves. I mean, I'm 33 years old and I'm still learning me. You know what I mean? Do you really love yourself? Do you really know yourself? Before you go out in that relationship market, what are you looking for? What do you want from somebody? What are you going to give somebody? You know, I think we should normalize having these conversations with ourselves first, getting ourselves together wholly, then going to get a partner that's going to better you, that's going to upgrade you, not trying to fix each other, because at the end of the day, nothing's going to work if you're not right yourself.
Right.
You know? Yeah, so someone was stating that what happens in the house stays in the house. And some asking about resources for kids and their trauma. That is detrimental. I didn't even think about the resources for the children.
So the YWCA, if you're local, if you're in this area, the YWCA does have a program with licensed social workers for children. It's called the Children Who Witness Violence Program. I think it's free of cost. It was. I don't know if it still is. I'm pretty sure it still is. But if not, I know insurance for the most part. But yes, there are definitely programs out there. I'm sure BHN has some. You do have other shelters besides the YWCA. You have Compañeras, you have Safe Passage, you have all these other shelters in the area, and they offer other resources as well. This is a huge community in this area. We still have way too little bit of resources, I personally feel, for how the volume of calls and the volume of people that these organizations see. But it's still great that you have these in place at free of charge. Counseling is free at the YWCA. So that I can say, and I know. But back to like the healing part of it too is healing looks different for everyone, I think. And I think just to add to what we already talked about when it comes to healing, I think we were talking about this earlier before we went live. Support groups. I feel like support groups are really important. I used to facilitate the support group pre-COVID, when people could actually be in a room together. Well, strangers could be in a room together. But we used to facilitate them open to the community once a week, again, free of charge. And now I think they do them online. You can join Facebook groups.
Yeah.
Obviously, safety could be an issue on social media, so I just want to also point that out with the type of things that you talk about online if you're joining those groups. So just make sure that they're actual organizations, actual, privacy things that are in place. But support groups are so empowering. I was facilitating them, and I would sit with these survivors, and I would just listen to them talking. I'm just like, wow. And they come in, and they're very, they have this wall up because I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you my deepest, darkest, scariest moments, but once one person it takes one person to talk, and then somebody else is like, wow, I just went through that, and they'll start offering help, and then it makes you feel, and it lets you know, I won't say feel, you actually know that you're not alone. Friendships get created, they share different healing techniques, coping mechanisms, being mindful of triggers and things that are being said those are all things that they take into account when you join a group. You can go in there and give them a fake name. You don't even have to say my name is what your name is. You can literally go in with an alias, and a lot of these, I should mention, a lot of the hotlines too you can stay anonymous. So you just want to call and get resources, you can do that. You don't have to provide your name and your number and your email. You don't have to give any of those things. So again, just stressing the importance of in your healing journey, of course, like you were saying, you can do that by yourself, but there are a lot of resources out there with trained professionals and women that have been through it with experience, that just a combination of those two things, a professional and someone that has experienced it together in a group, it's an empowering feeling. Like, it really is. So I feel like I'm a huge advocate of support groups. I think that they're great. And of course, there's videos that you watch, and there's activities that you do, and you draw, and you do, you know, just things that kind of help you ground yourself and center yourself. And I do a lot of meditating, so for me, I think that's a huge thing. Just having those quiet moments by yourself. But yeah, that's what I think on healing.
And I think, you know, if you having this situation that you have a family or a friend that having this type of situation, join a group, join Facebook, so you know what they're going through, what, you know, to be able to put yourself in their shoes and not be so judgmental. I think that's the best way to, like, knowing that they're not alone. But if you can understand that person, look forward, look for more information. Just don't think it's black and white, because it's never is.
Right.
Well, if anybody else has anything to say, because we're going to shift gears here a little bit.
The only thing that I wanted to mention is that Arise for Social Justice is housing us right now, so we are in.
Shout out to Arise.
Yes, we are in Arise for Social Justice, the location here in Springfield, Mass. An amazing organization. You know, Sonia, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about it, but I did just want to say too, though, that they will soon be possibly offering a domestic violence division. That will also be a resource for domestic violence survivors and people that are going through it. So.
Yeah, definitely. Arise for Social Justice don't have this type of division of domestic violence.
Yeah.
However, pandemic shows that is something needed in our community, and it goes together. The whole point that, you know, some maybe women don't want to report their person because they afraid that the cops come and kill them. All these situations come together. They just tie together, and I think, hey, we right here to bring awareness and justice, and bring justice to the people that are having this traumatic experience. More in pandemic that they close up, like they 24/7 with this person. Hey, we're looking to open up the division. We're looking for people for the board. I have people. So if you want to join in, if you want to, you know, pass the information to other people so they can come and help us. Any help to start this division will be appreciated, because what we want to do is help the community in Arise for Social Justice, and keep working and you know, eradicate the problems.
Yes.
Because that's the goal.
Yes.
And I just want to shout out to the executive director of Arise for Social Justice, Tanisha Arena. I should make her come say hi.
Yeah, she's our, you know, one of us sponsors.
But we just want to shout her out because she's always so supportive and things of that nature. So just say hey to the camera. So thank you for all that you do and all that you are about to do. We appreciate you. But yeah, I think we should switch gears. So, you know, again, October 1st is Domestic Violence and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're going to move into talking about breast cancer and even cancer overall. But I think we just want to remind people, you know, again, we're sending our love out to all of those viewing and all of the survivors and, you know, those going through it right now. And even those healing right now, we are with you. We're stronger together. Please remember that. And again, comment, ask questions during the live. And I'll pass it off to Ms. Chauncey.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a conversation. We're here to have a conversation, engage. You know, if there's something you want to say, some knowledge that you have that you want to share with us for the world to know, please definitely tell us your story. That's what Lady Soldiers is about. It's about our stories. It's about being stronger together. I just wanted to put the point in that African American women have a 31% breast cancer mortality rate, and that's the highest in any U.S. racial or ethnic group. Amongst women under 45, breast cancer is the highest amongst African American women. So you want to keep that in mind, because don't get me wrong, I'm no health guru, Listen, I'm an eater, okay? I like food. I like food, but I think we have to keep in mind that as melanated people, carbonated people, we are far from what our natural diet is. A lot of this stems from what we put in ourselves, you know what I mean? So you definitely want to, as a melanated, for you, everything isn't right for your body, and we kind of have to readjust and I guess rethink what we were taught as far as what we do consume. Hey, there's no other way to put this other than we not like other people, all right? Trying to put this the best way. Milk is not for you. If it's from your nutrition is in nature, okay? That's period. If it came from the earth, it's for you. If you look like me, and you know how that scale goes, you know. So definitely want to definitely want to understand that first and foremost. And like Regina said, my heart goes out to those that have lost their life to this monster. I mean, cancer is most definitely a monster. I personally think a lot of times we're science projects, so don't put yourself in that situation. For those that do have cancer, I mean, I think looking into Dr. Sebi and his natural ways and things he has to offer is definitely a good route to take, and I wish you all the best for the most part.
So I know how you mentioned the statistic that a certain percentage of melanated women, we are more likely to get breast cancer. But so I'll also just bring up, unfortunately I don't even know all the information on it or any statistics on it, but women of color, we are treated a certain way in the healthcare industry. So, we aren't taken care of the way that we should be. We aren't protected the way that we should be. So, we're just going to make that statement as well, that in the healthcare field, we aren't given the same services as other women, I guess I would say.
Someone stated, I'm sorry, just hop in to let our, get our viewers involved. Someone stated that cow milk is for cow babies. Absolutely.
And I am not a cow.
Right. And that we need to prioritize our health care, and that white women get breast cancer more or cancer more, but black women die more.
And that's I feel like that has to do with resources too, and health insurance and the access that they have to health care in their communities. The expenses are
and
crazy.
and also the understanding that you tell your doctor
Yes.
what you want to be done to.
Yeah.
They cannot tell you what you're feeling. They cannot tell you,
You're on
like
that.
you have to understand that you have your voice, and the doctor had to do what you said. Because it doesn't matter if you have Medicaid or any insurance, you have to ask for what you want to be done for you. So that power you have.
Yeah. You
What
have
I
to do
just
your own
want to
market.
say too is that we are lady soldiers. We are for everybody, but I mean, obviously, looking at us, we are women of color. So we really want to bring to light some of the issues in this world, in our even in our own society. But I think how important it is, and it's even something that we're experiencing right here in Springfield, Mass. That people of color, we need to start holding more roles of higher roles. So we're going to become doctors, we're going to become nurses, we're going to become politicians, and things of that nature, because we need to start taking care of us, because obviously they aren't doing it. So having maybe a doctor that looks like you, and things like that, we need more of it. So hopefully that we can not be so susceptible. I just kind of made that word up. I don't know if I said it right, but to breast cancer and to things like that. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
We got another comment saying that our communities are polluted, with the exposures to toxins, and having doctors who listen to us.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. And that statistically speaking, we die more because of the time of diagnosis. Very true.
So that actually brings up something else that I wanted to say, because one of the statistics that I found was that about 1 in 8 women have or will have breast cancer. So it is specific to breast cancer. So that just goes along with go to the doctors. Go to the doctors, do the self-exams. It's important to stay up on our health. A lot of the time I think we're just go, one day at a time kind of thing, but your health is very important. So go to the doctors, you know, do your annual whatever, but do self-exams as well. Know your body, know what you're putting in your body.
Especially as women, because I feel like women, they take charge of everyone around them, the kids,
Yes.
their partners, their mom, you know, their parents, but they leave themselves last. And then it's like you get sick and everyone's doing great, and you say to yourself, you might have caught it, but you caught it too late. Like you guys were just saying that the exams are, or they're treated much later than they should be. Yeah. So just remembering that your health is just as important, if not more, than everyone around you. Because if you're not doing well, you're not going to be able to take care of anyone.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I just want to shout out to, we'll actually hopefully be giving her a call. Do we have an extra phone? But Shirley Hudson Gavan, she's actually one of our sponsors. She is actually, so sponsor meaning that she financially supported us in the Lady Soldiers movement and the Lady Soldiers book, which will be out within 2 weeks. But Shirley Hudson Gavan is actually a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. So we're actually going to give her a call in just a moment, just so she can talk about you know, being diagnosed with cancer, how did she hold herself together? What was the process like beating cancer, and then even life after cancer? But I also want to shout out Jana Liz LeBrault. She's actually the 5th author of the Lady Soldiers book. She had a different form of cancer at the age of 18, but she is a survivor of stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. So we just want to share that as well. You know, cancer affects so many different parts of the body, so many different kinds of people. So we just want to shed light to that. And just to let you know, also, we will be calling nutritionist and fitness coach Kimmy Campbell, who is also a sponsor of Lady Soldiers. We'll be giving her a call real quick to see, you know, how can you prevent cancer? You know, what are the healthy foods to eat to have a better diet? Because your diet can cause cancer.
And if I could just give a thank you to Key Williams, who says she has a black OBGYN. Her name is Adrienne Hines. She's at Mercy. So if you're looking for her, Adrienne Hines, Mercy. Thank you, Key. Appreciate those jewels, you know.
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to dial real quick. I don't know if anybody else has any other comments, but I'm going to make this call.
Absolutely. So like Regina said, 2 weeks, the book is coming. Make sure you get your copy. We're gonna be on Amazon. You know, we'll have books on here, and it's I think it's a beautiful thing to get stories of 5 beautiful women.
Yes.
You know, just to remind you all that life isn't perfect. You know, and
hold on 1 second.
will get better. www.ladysoldiers.com. You see the setup. Instagram, Facebook, again, that LTC class.
Tell your
on
friends.
Eventbrite. Right, definitely.
Hi. All right, so we have Miss Shirley Hudson Gavan on the line. We did want to do a video call, but we weren't able to do that. But Shirley Hudson Gavan, who is a stage 3 cancer survivor, we really just, you know, wanted her to be able to, you know, just put yourself in her shoes for a minute. So, Shirley, can you just, first off, I'm just going to ask you, can you just tell us a little bit about you? You know, yeah, just tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am 78 years old, and I am the mother of 6 sons and 18 grandchildren.
Wow.
Regina being one of them. I got cancer when I retired at 61. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology and worked a lot in the community. I had a set of cheerleaders way back in the 70s and 80s, and I am still in touch with all of those girls from the Girls Family Center over on Acorn. So I've been involved in community work forever, and I am honored, and it's a privilege to be able to see such wonderful young ladies who are bettering themselves, moving on, and helping the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I could just ask, once you found out, what would you say to women who may think they have any form of cancer, or did you notice signs within your body, or just things that you would tell someone else to look out for or be aware of, as far as just, having any form of cancer?
First of all, I would encourage them to get mammograms
Okay.
if they are 40 and older, but now they're looking at younger women getting a mammogram.
Okay.
But for one thing, to know your body and to feel your body, to feel not to be ashamed of your body. So to make sure that you touch your breast, that you look at your nipples, that if there's anything leaking from your nipples, that you will make sure that you get that checked. That if you have real bad headaches, get those checked. Cancer does not hurt,
Okay.
but there are signs that there is something wrong. If your period is much heavier than it has been, if there is an odor in your period, all of those are things that you should get checked.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So I think really maybe I guess what I'll ask after is, being a survivor, and I just have to say, you already said it, but you are my grandmother, so I'm just so proud of you and love you to death. But, tell us, what was it like after you beat cancer? What was life after cancer?
Life after cancer was really learning. It taught me how to deal with difficulties, and how to even love myself more. One of the hardest things for me was when I was going through chemo, I lost all of my hair everywhere. But what happened was I looked in the mirror and I realized that it was what was inside me that was beautiful. So I never wore a wig. I put on my big earrings, put on my makeup, and loved myself. And so from that experience of having cancer, I learned to take one day at a time. Because our lives are made up of a million moments spent in a million different ways. And some of them are searching for love, peace, and harmony, and others are spent surviving day by day. So my greatest moment after cancer was the joy that I found within to learn to live one day at a time.
Powerful.
Yes, before I start to cry.
What would you tell someone that's dealing with cancer now?
I would tell them to not think about the what ifs, to love themselves, and love will help them conquer the fear. That the attitude of gratitude will help them get over the fear. Because if you have an attitude of gratitude that you're taking one day at a time, you're not going to think as much about the fear. And to include your friends and your family in your journey. The big C word is a scary word.
Right.
So most people try to hold it in. But it needs to be shared with those that's closest to you.
Absolutely.
So the best thing to do is just be true to yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I am who I am within. I have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me.
Ooh.
Come on. Okay. A word.
Snap.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yes.
Shirley, for your time, for your sponsorship, for your love. Thank you for Regina. Because
Hey.
they say, it trickles on down and everything.
I am thankful for you, young ladies. You are truly lady soldiers. And if there's anything that I can do to help within my sponsorship, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you. We love
so
you.
much, and thank you for your time. You have a good evening.
Guys,
All right, love you.
bye.
That was
Woo! I had to hold it together.
So we want to get Kim Campbell.
Yep.
So we're gonna go ahead and get Kim Campbell on the line, who is a nutritionist. Shout out to her because she's
Yes.
on live, making her natural shakes and everything, health on point. You know, if you don't know Kimmy Campbell on Facebook, I don't know her Instagram or by heart, y'all, but I'm sure the community knows. But
K
we'll get her
Campbell.
on. Yeah, we'll get her on. You know, so just bear with us here, folks.
You want to push it?
I hope you guys can hear us over the sirens.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kimmy.
Hi, Kimmy.
Good evening. So,
Able to come live on the video matching
Yeah,
party,
so-
you guys can add me on.
Oh,
oh, okay.
girl.
Send us a request,
So just
please.
go to the bottom and then search my name and
Hold
then
on.
add me on.
All right,
Oh,
hold on one
you dealing
sec.
with her auntie. Hold on. Hold on, we'll figure it
I
out.
want to
Okay.
see.
Okay.
She said, I does
She
this.
said, go to the bottom. Oh, okay, hold on. Wait, child, we're at the bottom.
All right, so we're looking for the
Are you
link
the admin?
to add you. Well, she is an admin.
No, but she logged in as admin because I don't think she can invite without that.
Hold on, I'm actually on the
Okay,
page.
good,
Oh,
yeah.
hold up. Okay, let me go here. I'm working on it, Kim. I'm working on it. Listen, I'm
Oh, invite.
ladies, baby.
Yeah, she has it if you want to try from.
Oh, yeah. Go, go.
Her name's
You
Kimmy.
Her name's Kim.
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 Y'all bear with us, man.
Yeah,
You
she's
know.
on my.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, because
Appreciate
you're not.
that.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. Where? I don't see the
Well,
invite button.
the invite button.
Remember when we were having this problem before?
Mm-hmm.
I can probably do it for mine. Sorry, give me a second.
All right, just
Okay.
give us 1 sec.
This is live, so you know, enjoy the bloopers. Like
Right,
You said it's where?
She said underneath the video.
I think I just kicked everybody off. Yeah, I don't have it, guys.
I'm sorry, Kim. We gonna
Regina.
try to have it next time, girl, because you know.
We're wrapping up. How much percent?
I don't know.
Oh.
If I check it, it might kick everybody
So
off.
okay, well, so as you know,
Yeah.
Kimmy, we're talking about domestic violence. We're talking about breast cancer awareness, and we brought up the point that it's important to be vigilant with what it is that you're putting into your body. We know that you are definitely the woman to speak on that. So, what would you like to add to that conversation?
Sure. So first of all, I think it's very, very important to have this conversation. I want to thank you ladies for doing what you guys are doing. Truly, lady soldiers, killing it out here in different aspects of life, womanhood, motherhood, business, hardworking women, and just also have been through different obstacles. And now you guys are at a point where you guys can share your story and help other nutrition. So making sure that, you're having the right amount of carbs and the right amount of vitamins and minerals and water, alkaline water, keeping away from certain things that are not good for our body, such as dairy, and a lot of meat. Those are mucus forming causing substances that can be detrimental, especially to black and brown people. Okay? So certain things that we eat that we don't know, they can truly hinder us, right? So of course we all love our soul food. It has so much culture. It brings us back. We love our auntie and our grandma and our cooking, right? Our mom cooking. But we cannot be eating soul food every day because it's really going to, we get the itis, but long term, there are a lot of different things that correlated with these types of foods, like I said, especially like the cheeses. Something like cheese, for example, it can be addicting, right? So sometimes you might be at a wine and cheese party, you might eat the whole half platter of cheese and not knowing it because there is something inside of our brain. It's a pleasure sensor, right? So we just keep eating and eating and eating, and we don't even realize. And what it does, there's a hormone. It's called leptin and ghrelin. And so what they do is one of these hormones, it tells our body that we are full and not full. So when we start eating certain things that activate the pleasure sensor, such as sugars and cheese, it turns it off. So we don't realize that we're full. We just keep eating. So we want to be mindful of that. Also, I would recommend watch the times you're eating. Your time of day that you're eating is going to be a huge contribution to how you feel as far as your energy and as well as your metabolism. So you want to start having something within your first 30 minutes of waking up, unless you're fasting. And we'll talk about this after. I talk about the 30-minute waking up and getting your metabolism going. A lot of people say, I have a slow metabolism. I don't eat breakfast. I don't get hungry till about lunch, 1, 2 o'clock. And then I feel like I can eat a house, which is terrible because at that point, now our blood sugar levels have dropped. And this is the time where we make those irrational decisions and we start eating stuff we have no business eating. But what we can do is we can set ourselves up for success by planning. So what I do as a health and wellness coach is I provide meal plans for people, help them to create structure and discipline, and also focusing on personal development and the mindset, because it's your own mindset that is going to help take you to the next level or hold you back.
Absolutely.
So it's really, we got to focus on the mental state of mind for that as well. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was fasting. So I personally do what's called intermittent fasting. So I eat there's some days where I'll eat between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. and there are a lot of different benefits of intermittent fasting. Some people fast for 12 hours, some people fast for 16 hours. Some people don't eat for a couple days. So, you have to find what works best for you. So it's going to help you with mental clarity. It also helps to reset and give your digestive system a break. We can't just keep pounding certain things in our digestive system, especially when we're sick. It's important to have that rest, recovery, and repair time for our system to really take care of ourselves. We are so powerful as human beings that God designed us to the point where we can actually heal ourselves and a lot of different ailments that we're dealing with. It's just people don't know what to do, or they might not have the resources. So I'm so happy that you guys had me on here so we can kind of talk about these things that people might not know about.
Right.
Another thing that I definitely encourage and what I do in the community is I have fitness classes. So I run them with a couple of other coaches, and we really strive to get our community moving. This is sixth season of our Team Us Fit Camp, and we have gone through our ups and downs, but it has been a great journey. We've helped a lot of people. So what we're trying to do and what we are doing is we are creating impact in the community, and it's a no judgment free zone. We don't care if you've never worked out in your life. We don't care if you worked out since high school. We don't care if you hit the gym 3, 4, 5 times a week. As long as you plug in and you are a positive
helping to increase your respiratory system. You get to sweat and release those toxins that your body is having, right? So there are so many things. It's not just about looking good, but most importantly, we want to help people feel good. We want to help them with their confidence, and most importantly, like, help people become healthy and happy. Even working out, it helps your mindset. Like, it helps you. It helped me personally fight depression. When I'm feeling stressed out, this is what I do to release the stress. I'll hit the gym. I'll work out. I'll run the track. You know what I mean? I'll go on a bike with my children, and I love to keep my children engaged and actively with me, because it's not just for us adults. We also, as mothers and as parents and aunts and cousins and other mother figures, we have to show the light to the young ones, because you guys already know they're looking at us. Everything we do, what we say, how we move, how we talk. So I strongly encourage getting the children moving, especially now with things being locked down. You know, we highly recommend outside play. Bring the children to fit camp. You know, get them actively engaged and involved in something. Because right now in the United States is the highest for childhood obesity. There are a lot of sick people in the United States. But one of the ways that we can help combat those sicknesses is what we're doing as far as what we're putting inside our bodies, how we're moving, and definitely drinking more water, cutting back on the soda and the juices, and all of those things that are going to hinder our results.
So Kimmy,
I know I talked a lot. I was kind of going everywhere. What questions do you guys have?
Girl, I think you answered all our questions.
I was gonna say that Kimmy, you're basically an encyclopedia.
Yeah, you're like so informative. Thank
So
you.
how can? Oh, sorry.
yep. No, I was gonna say, how can people contact you?
Right, absolutely, because you have so much information that is definitely important. And can you go ahead and give us some of that information?
Sure.
Where they can reach you?
So you guys can find me on Facebook, Kimmy Campbell. So definitely you can add me, send me a message, ask me whatever. I'm literally an open book.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is the letter K, last name Campbell, CAMPBELL. So at K Campbell 63. Find me on Instagram and on Facebook. Definitely I want to put it out there. Just be wary. Somebody, as of today, screenshot some of my pictures from my Instagram, and they created a second Instagram, and they're asking people for money. So just be mindful of the Instagram. I will make sure that we get the right Instagram. So at K Campbell 63, there is no period in the name. Okay.
Thank you, Kimmy.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Kimmy.
Thank you, Kim. And can you please
Absolutely.
do us a favor? Can you put that in the comments, your information? That way everybody have it and everybody be aware.
All right, well, Kimmy, we appreciate you, and again, we appreciate you also as a sponsor. So, you know, we hope that people reach out to you because, as you said, your health, your diet, your fitness, it's all important. So thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Kim.
Bye, Kimmy.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Kim. Thank you.
Have a good one.
You know, what I think is really, I know what I feel like all this kind of tied in because self-love does start with what you're putting in your body. So you want to go into your nutrition. That then therefore is going to be what your relationship is. That also is going to be what your health is. You know, and so this does absolutely all tie into
Self-love, self-care.
Yeah.
Come on, there you go. There you go. So we're gonna wrap this up,
Yeah.
ladies.
Yeah.
Thank
Any
you
final-
so
any
much,
final words?
everybody. I'm just like,
Thank you for joining us.
the engagement and being in the comments and everyone that's even following the page. Even if you happen to see this video later, it'll be here on the page. So share it with your friends, share it with your family. But thank you guys. I mean, if you're watching, chances are you're already following us, but you might be sharing the video, so you might be getting us some new support.
And stay tuned because
Yes.
this is gonna come more often. And we're gonna bring lady soldiers conversations, real women's, real stories right here, and we're gonna be more prepared. This is the first show, so excuse us for that. And we're gonna be there, and we're gonna bring all the information that we have to your home for your benefit and the benefit of your loved ones.
You want to give them some more information about the book?
Yeah,
What's
so
coming forth is gonna-
so real life woman, real life stories, as Sonia mentioned. So the Lady Soldiers book, we call it the book for all women because this is a book for all women. You know, many of us have experienced things that, you know, we always have something in common.
Right.
We may not look alike, we may not this, we may not that, but as women, we do have many things in common. And we are stronger together. So within about 2 weeks, the book will be published on Amazon, and we will also, for our, you know, maybe local community or, you know, maybe family members out of state, we will have it to sell to you separately as well, if you don't want to purchase through Amazon. But we're extremely excited. TheLadySoldiers.com is our website. As you can see, these are all our social media outlets. Is there anything that I missed?
Well, it's Christmas coming, so
Yeah.
buy it for your friends.
Yeah.
That's the best present you could do
Yeah,
to
for
a
sure.
woman to empower them.
Yeah.
And I just want to say too, actually, the book is, so again, real life woman, real life stories. So it's stories of short stories of motivation and survival. But there's art in the book. So there's drawings from local artists. There's also poems. So expect to, one, fall in love with the book. But two, you will be amazed at all the talent that is involved, but also at our stories, because it's real. But we want to bring realness to light and bring the things that women go through to light.
Yes.
So I think I'll just end it at that. We appreciate all our viewers, all our supporters. You know, please share this video. Please share our website. When you get the book, please share that as well.
Like the page,
Yes.
you know,
Yep.
like follow us on Instagram
Yep.
and keep join the movement.
Yes.
Yes.
Join the movement.
And you can subscribe to our website, theladysoldiers.com. Again, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will see you soon.
And we thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Later.